This is an impromptu video. I'm actually in the parking lot at the gym. I'm waiting for my food to settle. So I guess there's, not only is this a fitness channel, this is more of like an outlet for me to get what I'm thinking, in my mind, out to the general public and see, who responds or who can accept it, who can relate, who can't. It's all good. But this is more to do with living up to your actions of your words and trust. And those are two very, very fickle things that can be easily broken. And, with family, friends, relationships, I feel like there's just certain lines you don't cross. And when you tell somebody something, whether it be I love you or, I'll be there at this time, you should try your hardest to live up to your word and your actions, because the more you try to tell somebody something, if it doesn't translate through your actions, eventually they're going to just be like, oh, okay, whatever, they're not going to believe you, so eventually, like, your word isn't going to mean shit. Like, you could tell somebody, the greatest things in the world, so you're blue in the face, and at some point they're just going to be like, like, it is what it is. But and trust is very small. Me personally, I've done some scumbag things, nothing like cheating or beating anyone up or being crazy, but I'm far from perfect. And I've definitely hurt feelings of people that I truly love and care about, and it wasn't intentional. It was just me thinking that this was the best situation and way to handle it for me. And even if I communicated it with that person, if I communicated with that person after the fact, or told that person what was going on, and I don't know how hurt you are, then I can't really assess the amount of damage I've done. Doesn't make it right, doesn't fix anything. But I'm a firm believer, though, there's still certain things you just don't do, as people, as in relationships, like, and even with friends, because like social media and friends make things very hard for people to communicate in relationships, or just even like in your everyday, because you might have a friend in your ear like, oh, that person ain't shit, or oh, that's wrong, or oh yeah, of course I see your point of view, like, you're always right because you're my friend. And I try very, very hard to give the full story, because I like to know, like, if I do talk to somebody, I want to know, okay, am I overstepping my boundaries? Am I looking too deep into this? Or am I wrong for saying what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times I think I'm right, because I don't try to open my mouth unless I feel like I have at least a valid point, for coming out with what I'm saying. So sometimes, yeah, I'm like, like the Kevin Hart, where he's like, are you done? Are you done? Because I'm ready to just fire. But sometimes I am wrong. I'm not perfect. But I feel like it's hard, because myself personally, I do have trust issues from past relationships, just people. And I do have people tell me, oh man, you're not friends with anybody. I'm cool with a lot of people. I talk, but I'm very quiet and observant, and it comes off as cocky and arrogant. But I just don't have a lot to say around people that I don't know, even people that I do know sometimes, because the people that you see that are close to you or that you talk to every day, they're like, oh yeah, what's good, fam? Like, oh yeah, that's cool, blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, they're like waiting on you to fail. They're plotting against you or trying to see you fail. Or even with relationships, you try to tell somebody how great a person is, and they look good, and they're, oh yeah, I'm happy for you, that's great, that's cool, or I hope it works out, or whatever. Then you tell them how good that person is, then then you start seeing them talk to that person a little more, or start paying that person a little more attention. And next thing you know, it becomes a situation, and you're like, well damn, I thought I could trust that person. Or even a friend you trust. I think that if you're seeing somebody, or you're interested in someone, you trust a person, you should never date that person's friends or someone that they're really cool with, because that's just the line you don't cross. There's too many other people in the world, and it makes it hard for you to ever really trust a person, because if you bring them around a friend or someone you're cool with, you're like, okay, can I even do that? Because I don't know if that person might start looking at my friends, or if my friends might start looking at that person. And at some point you have to trust and give in, but it really makes you kind of step cautiously. And like I said, especially for me, a person who doesn't really trust anybody, and I have a lot of trust issues and insecurities, good looking or not, built big, buff, whatever. I'm a very insecure person, but it's for good reason. And every time I try to put my stock into somebody who I really trust, whether it be, you know, a friend, girlfriend, you know, whatever, it feels like something goes wrong. And like I said, I'm far from perfect. I've made my mistakes, but there's still just certain lines I don't cross just out of pure respect. And I feel like people need to look at it the same way. And with people nowadays or social media, it's so easy to keep getting attention that you kind of lose sight of what's really important. And you lose sight of, even though the person might not be perfect, like who's really real and who's been there for you and who always would. So, you know, then, you know, they kind of change and their actions kind of change. And even if they feel the same way, something's a little different. And, you know, I noticed that. And in turn, it can just create chaos. And that's not what you want at the end of the day, at least for myself. And, you know, I just kind of made this video to kind of see other people's thoughts. And like I said, just kind of, you know, kind of get out what I'm feeling, you know, and what I think about in certain degrees. So, you know, hopefully you guys like the video, and please like and subscribe, and you know, more coming your way, definitely fitness related. So, you know, there will be stuff in there, but like this is more like a release channel, you know, and just real, and, you know, whatever I'm feeling. So like I said, you know, I hope you guys enjoy it, and there's more to come.